Okay, so I'm going to be doing the standard on wave characteristics. So for this standard, it says that we are supposed to be able to find the wavelength, frequency, period, amplitude, and traverse velocity of a wave on a string. Um, and so I just drew out a quick, little wave here in paint. Um, And so to find the wavelength, simply just the distance from one peak to another peak. And the amplitude is the distance from the center to the peak here, as shown. So that'll be the amplitude, and of course wavelength. Um, and frequency, as shown here, is just 1/the period, and conversely, the period would be 1/the frequency. And if we were to try and calculate, let's say, the traverse velocity of this wave on a string, you could just simply use the equation v equals the frequency times the wavelength. So let's say if we had a string or a wave with a frequency of, let's say, 10 hertz, and its wavelength was, let's say, 0.5. Um, so to calculate the velocity of that, it would simply just be 10 times 0.5, which would then be 5 meters per second. If you were going to try and calculate how long it would take for this wave to travel a certain distance, then you could also just use the equation velocity equals distance over time, setting these two equations equal to each other, and solving for time. So it would just be time equals distance over frequency times the wavelength. You can use that to calculate just about everything on here. So yeah.